Brothers and sisters, our best wishes go out to all of you who celebrate your name day today in honour of your patron saints, Saint Constantine and Helen. St. Constantine was the first Roman emperor to adopt Christianity and marked the history of the Christian Church in a number of ways. First and foremost, he gave an edict of toleration, i.e. anyone can worship their own religion freely, and that was in opposition to what emperors before him were doing, which was persecuting Christians for their faith. So he is essentially a liberator of the Christians in the first instance. The second thing he did was to move the capital of the Roman Empire from Rome to a new city which he established on the foundations of the old city of Byzantium. It was an existing city, Byzantium, but he redeveloped Byzantium to make it New Rome. He called it New Rome, and basically moved the Senate of Rome to New Rome. He moved the seat of the government, all the administration, over to New Rome, and basically made a Christian version of Rome. So whatever Rome had, pagan Rome had, he made a Christian version of. So if there were temples to Jupiter and Aphrodite and all the ancient Olympian gods in Rome, he established a number of churches, Christian churches, dedicated to the Christian faith, namely, and we remember three that he established: the Church of Holy Wisdom, Hagia Sophia; the Church of Holy Peace, Hagia Irene; and the Church of God's Power, Hagia Dynamis. There were a number of other churches as well, and with time this city, New Rome, became known as Constantinople, Constantinoupoli, the city of Constantine, and that explains its modern day naming, Istanbul, as a Turkish rendition of the Greek original. The other very important thing Constantine did is to bring together all the different Christian communities which were disparate at that time because of the persecutions, and there were a number of different stances or positions or opinions about a number of matters which were dividing the Christians at that time, one of them being when we should celebrate Easter. And he felt that the best way to bring this together was to respect the existing Christian tradition of bringing people together in council to discuss, vote and decide. And that took the form of the first ecumenical council, where it was decided how Easter is to be celebrated, as well as of a number of other things, including a very important aspect of what we do as Christians, and that is to celebrate the memory of Christ's resurrection and to gather as a Christian community on the Sunday. Obviously the Christians were already gathering on what we call Sunday, but he made it law for the Christians. So basically the Christians decided that our Sabbath is Sunday. That was at the First Ecumenical Council. A number of other decisions as well, if you want to look that up for yourselves. Moving on to Saint Helen, who was his mother. Saint Helen was of Greek background, born in Bithynia, and married to the father of Constantine, who was called Constantius. He was a Roman. And Helen already was Christian from before she was married to Constantius, and we historians feel that Helen's influence on Constantine was obvious, and that even though in his early career Constantine remained Roman pagan, his slow transition to Christianity gives a lot of credit to his mother Helen and her good influence in his life. Saint Helen is further remembered and famous for, upon Constantine becoming emperor and establishing New Rome and the churches in New Rome, she went on to visit the Holy Land and to discover the cross of Jesus and to establish a number of churches in the Holy Land. Number one, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, i.e. the tomb of Christ, which is there today for us to visit, but also the Church of the birth of Christ at Bethlehem. She established it, and the actual architectural edifice you will find in Bethlehem is the original, whereas the Church of the Sepulchre in Jerusalem had been burnt down a couple of times and been rebuilt. It's a Crusader building at the moment, and will be, I imagine, into the ages. And she also built the first church in memory of St. George in Lydda, the town of Lydda. And we, as a Church of St. George, remember this on November the 3rd, which is when she established that church. So all these different interconnecting things that matter to us as Orthodox Christians to this day are attributed to these very famous saints, Constantine and Helen.